Hello, so welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we'll be interviewing a football player from Kaunas Žalgiris Football Club, and we're joined with Divine. So welcome. And for the starters, I want to ask, as the football season for you is coming to an end, what was your favorite moment from it?
Straight away.
Yeah.
I think my favorite moment probably would be we played the semi-finals in recently against Saudi, and I scored. We won 3-1, I think, and I scored the first goal, and it was actually quite a good moment.
Yeah. That's very nice. And as you've been playing in Lithuania for quite some time,
Yes.
what do you like most about it?
About it, I think the people are very friendly, as you say. With my teammates when I came about around 2020, there were older guys, likes of Linas, Egilus, and they were very good. They helped me to settle in. I would say that is something that I'm very happy with.
So was it hard to adapt, or was it kind of easy?
On the field, it was easy to adapt because football is kind of it's a language on its own. So it was, but outside it was a bit difficult because with no friends, no families, so that could be difficult. But other than that, on the football field, it was actually good.
How did you overcome that adaptation to the country?
I think I had to start making friends.
Was it difficult?
Yeah, from the beginning it was, but as I started to play now, I become visible to people that I am here, and I tend to make new friends on the internet and stuff like that. So that was very
Okay, glad to hear it. So now we will dive to more interesting questions.
Yes.
So I would like to ask, how did you become interested in football?
I would probably say come from the environment that I grew up in back in Ghana. We mostly didn't have anything to rely on except on football in that area. So everybody was playing football, and that was how it became easy for me to join, because growing up I saw my my senior brothers playing football and stuff. So that was the only thing we had in our area to do. So
Was it always your passion?
Yeah, from a young age, I've always had a passion for football.
Did you have any role models that helped you be where you are right now?
I would say some of my coaches back then, because it was really difficult around that time. They didn't have exposure of having professional coaches having degrees, but they were able to coach as well at that young age, even though they didn't have any degrees. So I think that was very inspiring from those coaches back then.
Did you learn a lot
from the coaches?
Yeah.
I would say yes. Yes, yeah.
What most proud moment, most maybe grateful moment that you learned from them?
I think it will probably be when I was playing at football academy in Right to Dream. I learned a whole lot about traveling outside, because I've been in Ghana all my life, and then now I had the opportunity to travel outside Ghana and experience other cultures. And with how they brought us up and have to educate us, when you travel, you do this, you do that, you socialize with people just so you don't get lonely and stuff. And I think I was really happy that I joined the academy to get that.
Okay, that's nice. And did you know that you will go professional in football?
As a young kid, I always believed that I wanted to, but you never know. You just have this belief. It's like you are in this tunnel and you can't see out, but you still have the belief that one day you will make it to the top. So that was seeing other people do it made me believe that if I push myself, I could actually get there.
Who was your idol?
Growing up, probably would say I like Iniesta. He played for Barcelona, and Iniesta. I like his football style and everything. He retired recently, but I like Iniesta. Yeah.
So he also inspired you?
Yeah, I would say football-wise, he inspired me.
Okay. Also, as you're from Ghana and we're reading a book in English about African culture, I'm interested to knowing about lifestyle differences.
Yeah.
Can you point out how does it differ from Africa and Europe?
For me personally, I would say the biggest barrier for us could be you have your family there back in Africa, so and you know the culture and you have your family, your friends, and everyone there. So when you are there, it's a bit different from when you travel. When you travel, it becomes like you are in a foreign land and you have to like learn to adapt everything. So it's just the difficulty of the job that we chose, but otherwise, I would say that just the culture differences.
Okay, nice. And was it difficult for you to move away from your home country?
It was from the beginning, because what helped most was that the time I joined the football academy, it became like I've left my family from a young age, around 12 years, so I already have an idea of like not being with your family. So when I had a chance to travel abroad, it became like kind of like the same, you know. So that helped.
Was it hard to be away from the family?
Yes, I think it is. Even that it never goes away. Even as we grow up, you still like right now. The season is almost over, and I can't wait to go home because I miss my mom and stuff like that. Although we are getting older, so yeah, it's something that it will never go away. You always want to be close to your family whenever you get a chance. Yeah.
Do you like call them up, like right?
Yeah, I actually talked to my mom before I came. Yeah, I was doing.
Okay,
yeah,
that's nice. So, if not football, what other sports career or just in general?
Would I have choose?
Yeah, what would you choose?
I've never been asked this question before. Actually.
Oh,
What would I probably go? I would probably say marathon. I love the marathon. I don't think I would be able to do it, but I love
running, like
athletics.
athletics.
Yeah, athletics. Yeah.
Okay.
I like the marathon. Yeah.
Okay, nice. And as I was researching, I noticed that you were a part of a lot of clubs.
Yes.
So, did it affect you, like moving from one country to another, new cultures, new people, new language? Did it affect you in any way?
I would say yes. There was a time what some part of the football career you become a little bit kind of like depressed and stuff because of that. You travel so much. That was earlier when I started playing professional football. You know, you don't establish yourself in one place, and then after 6 months you are moving to the next place.
Yeah.
So you never really get a chance to establish yourself. So you become like you're always on the run. You know, so it can be really depressing at times. Yeah. With the traveling. Yeah.
Was it depressing for you?
Yeah, at the time I was.
And how did you get from that? Like, how did you again rose from it?
This is a very good question, because from Africa they don't treat mental treatment like mental. When you say you're depressed, most people don't even understand in Africa. So it's a very difficult topic to talk about in our hometown. So even when I experienced it, I really didn't know how to share it, because back where I'm from, you know, it doesn't exist, you know.
Yeah.
When you say you're depressed, they'll just treat you like, oh no, go do this, and then they will brush it away. So I would say probably I started talking to people more, and being with myself, talking to friends more, and then eventually it was the time that I had to say therapy and stuff like that. So it really did help me through it. Yeah.
Okay, do you have any tips for like young athletes that maybe are in like a similar situation?
I would say they should talk to people more, because mostly when things are not going on for you football, you actually want to keep everything to yourself, and it can be a heavy burden. It could be talking to your family, it could be talking to your friends and stuff like that, but you have to be able to open and talk to them.
Do you have any tips on how to like meet those people? Maybe?
In terms of like friends?
Yeah, just going out there more. Do you have any tips on like where to focus? Maybe like, I don't know.
I would say your friends that you started with, you shouldn't lose that friendship, because then when you start to talk about stuff, it will make sense, because they know, and then you can actually make new friends who are willing to actually listen to as well.
Okay. And so how did you manage to like stay motivated and resilient in those like maybe bad moments in your career?
I think mostly what helped a bit too was like, in that instance, I began to work more, because it's probably because I wanted to play, and that's why I'm doing all this traveling. So I decided to stay at one place and work towards one thing. So when I had a chance to move, I would have to put a stop to it. Maybe this time it's not a good idea to move. Just stay in this club and just establish yourself more. So I think just being able to calm yourself down and be able to stay in one place and focus and to get that long run, that will actually even help you.
Okay. And how do you balance your career and social life? Do you have any difficulties?
I have actually. You realize when you actually trying to get in contact with me on the Instagram, I had to give my WhatsApp because all my social media, the notifications are out. Like they are not on. It's only the WhatsApp that because there was a time like I'm getting messages from all social media and I like to reply everything. So I'm like, okay, maybe this is not me. Turn off notifications, and when I have the free time, I can go on social media. So I don't always react to the reactions from people, but when I'm ready to go on the social media, then I open it. Other than that, it's just turn off everything, and it's hard to manage it. It's a bit difficult.
When do you decide it's like the time to like log on again and like talk to people?
Usually after training, when I'm a bit calm and free, and I know that okay, I've done the most important part, which is getting my training done and talking to some family, then I can actually log on the internet and then open it.
Okay, and maybe do you have any like tips on how to balance more the social life and
the social life? It's I do a lot of reading as well on my personal time. I read a lot of books, and I think that too actually even helped me to just get perspective from different side of what's going on, and not always be with yourself and stuff like that.
What kind of books do you read?
Mostly it's a bit, I'm a Christian, so a bit Christian book and a bit like I would say motivational books, you say, stuff like that.
Do you have any other hobbies that like help you maybe be with your mind more and to like reset?
I think I'm always the kind of person that always need to reset after training. If I spend time with my friend, I always want to be alone and then just to reset myself. I think I've been reading a little bit of movies and like documentaries. Sometimes I like to watch and stuff like that just to educate myself.
Okay, and what are the ways that you deal with stress?
With stress, I will probably say, because I'm a Christian, most of my time too is spent with like listening to preaching, and listening to preaching and then reading the Bible and stuff like that. Because then I have where to channel my focus to and how to pray and everything. And I would say probably that's one of the biggest way of me like being able to get through day after day after day.
So spiritual connection is very important.
It's very important. Okay.
And do you have any like also tips maybe how to be connected more with that spiritual self?
I think if you're consistent with it, you grow with it. It's like you don't do and stop. You don't like listen to preaching, read the Bible and stuff. It has to be like a continuous thing, and then eventually you get more understanding of what you're trying to get. And I think it's the consistency that helps.
How to start to be consistent? Like, do you
I
don't know, from your perspective, like how did you become like consistent with it?
I think it was probably to do it maybe every day, just 10 minutes of, start with 10 minutes of like meditation, just drop no socials, no anything. I started with 10 minutes a day, just lie down and just process your own thoughts and stuff like that. I read books and I did that, so it helped me a bit, because first I used to have my brains like firing so many things. If I'm free, like I'm on my phone, and then next thing I'm doing this, I'm doing this. Like I need to calm myself down and then just process everything. So the meditation helped me from the beginning, and then now I can do it for a long time. And then we can like drop your phone and like focus on like what you're doing. You know, we don't get to do those things often, but these are things that we need to learn to as well. Just drop your phone and cut everything and just focus on it.
I totally agree, because it's also like, for me personally, it's very hard to focus, and I don't know how to deal with it.
I think that will start from that.
I will try. And do you have any experience with bad team dynamics?
Bad team dynamics?
Yeah, like players being maybe more unmotivated, just showing up to practice just because they have to, not because they're passionate about it.
I think we almost that every year we have that, depending on the type of like season we are in. If things are going well, you don't seem to get that. But when things are not going well, some players will turn to that kind of dynamics, like coming with training with attitude and stuff like that. Yeah, so I think it happens almost every year with every team.
And how do you still stay motivated in those situations?
It can be very frustrating. I know it can when you are like you show up in training to like do your 100% and go and focus, and then somebody's already like they are checked out already, and you can't get the best out of them. So it can be difficult sometimes. For me, it's just about like focusing on yourself, and if let's say after the training you don't feel like you've had enough, do your own personal training, rather it being going to the gym or something like that. Mostly I make sure like I'm probably one of the last players from the gym and stuff like that. If it's just me being in the gym and just stretching, it's even like an extra 15 minutes for me that I know that I have done that to add to what I did during that day.
Okay. And what would you say to someone that is on the verge of giving up on their sports dream?
It can be very difficult, but I can assure you if you keep working and you keep like it all stems with the training. If you keep working and you focus on your training, I believe that at the end you will get what you're looking for. You just have to be consistent with your training and not give up.
Do you have any tips on how to find that like still motivation to be consistent with it, just not give up and forget the dream?
The tip, I think you have to develop a passion for it. The moment you have a passion for it, when you wake up and you have to go and do it, it doesn't feel like a burden for you. It becomes of something like you love. Like I wake up every morning to go to training, not because I'm getting paid, but actually I love to play football. When you have that, it's a bit different from showing up because you are getting paid. It becomes much easier when you're actually showing up and doing something that you love. Then you know that, oh, it's another day to improve, it's another day to do what I love. So when it becomes like something you love instead of something like you are getting paid for it, then it doesn't become a burden. It's like you are doing something, you are growing with the thing, so it becomes much easier.
Did you ever like lost the passion for football, or?
There are moments like that, moments when you are not playing. When you go to a club and the coach doesn't like how you are playing, it's not like you're not a good footballer, you're just not the type of player he's looking for. In that instance, he might not play you, and then you kind of question yourself. Like in those times, you can actually like lose it if you don't take care, because you are good. You think you should be on the pitch, but you're not playing. So.
And how do you like still stay resilient in those moments?
In that instance, that is when it's like even if you don't want to do it, this is your job, so you have to go. In that instance, it's not even passion anymore. It becomes like, okay, it's your job, so you have to show up. That's when, like, you show up because it's your job. The coach says this, you obey, and you show up.
Okay, so our interview is coming to an end, and this is the last question that I want to ask, and it's quite personal. But if you can briefly comment on it, I'll be very happy. So, what was the hardest moment in your career?
Hardest moment? Yeah, I think I was in Belgium around 2018, and I was playing football, like far away from home, and then I heard the news that my dad had a motor crash back in Ghana. So that was actually like the hardest. I contemplated whether I even like to stop playing, but as time goes on, I learned to process my thoughts and everything, and then I was able to go back to Ghana. But it was a motor crash, and there's not really much that we can do about it. So that was actually my hardest. It was my lowest.
And how did you overcome it?
I still don't think I did. I think I recovered a bit, but I don't think I 100% like recovered from it. Because it's one thing if somebody's sick and you lose them. It's then you go through the whole process and lose them, but to all of a sudden there's like a crash, and then it's like that one it's like a shock. So I don't think I 100% recovered, but I'm much better now.
Okay, so thank you for joining us. Thank you for talking. Okay, and we will see you maybe next time. We will do another one.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Okay.